What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Dirty Pelican podcast. I'm your host, Nick.
And I'm your other host, Devin.
This is episode number 2. We're off to a hot start.
Hot start. Also, since it is episode 2, let's go ahead and give shouts out to everyone who tuned in to episode 1. That was super dope. A lot bigger turnout than we expected.
Yeah, dude. I honestly 110%. I figured that the podcast was going to get like 20, 25 views. I figured it'd be most of our fantasy league, maybe some family members like my mom or something, and I figured it would just kind of be it. But I mean, no, I hit 80-something views on SoundCloud. We've hit 50-something views on YouTube. We have 157 likes on Facebook, and a ton of messages, comments, and even suggestions from people that's been listening. So a lot of people are actually being really engaged in this, and it's super, super cool.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Dion Hale with the suggestion of the call-ins and stuff. We had planned on doing interviews and things like that. Call-ins is a dope idea. So, shout out to him. And for the positive message, he sent to us. He said he was really enjoying it. And that, that's basically what we got from everybody. We had a few negative, I wouldn't say negative, but
just things
some constructive criticism.
Yeah, things we could do a little bit better here and there to, help on audio and help on things like that. But I mean, yeah, overall a positive response. I didn't really expect, plan for, but I mean, it's super, super cool. And we thank everybody who did tune in and do that. And also for the idea that he had given us about the call-ins. I mean, I'm pretty sure what I told you on the phone about it, that I think there is a way for us to pull that off and do a call-in and record their audio and get it, clear, so it doesn't sound like it's coming through a phone or anything like that. So I think there is definitely a way for us to do that. So if it is, that might be a section of the show we do every single, week whenever we can get a hold of somebody that wants to be featured.
Oh, yeah, it'd be super easy to do, and even for, 10, 15 minutes just to pick someone's brain, it's still something that's super interesting.
Yeah, man, even have people, like Ethan call in, and if we have Jacob on that episode, have those two guys who've never talked in ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, just have everybody kind of have like 3 mics hooked up here, have them recording their audio, It's super cool stuff we can end up doing if we can actually get everything to work. So I'm pretty excited about all the ideas we've had. And honestly, since the first episode, a lot of new things have come up in the week of sports. I love when football season starts. I love when everything starts getting going, and a lot of things to talk about today.
Yeah. So do you wanna address the biggest elephant in the room?
Yeah,
I guess.
Elephant in the room. Might as well, man. Might as well.
So Andrew Luck retired and ruined Ree's River Rats.
Ree's, completely ruined it. I mean, he did drop Andrew Luck off the fantasy team. I bet a lot of people who took Andrew Luck. I mean, that dude's considered one of the at least top 8. I mean, at least, and maybe top 5. I mean, and when it comes to quarterbacks and. Ruined a bunch of fantasy people. But the most important thing is that he's retiring because he wants to be healthy. I mean, I read a lot of things on there on the internet about how he was drained from the rehabbing multiple injuries over and over and going through that rehab process. And I mean, I can hardly run on a treadmill, so I can only fucking imagine, what he have to go through.
And then imagine, you're rehabbing for 8 to 9 months to get back to something that you love that sends you back to rehabbing. Yeah. So then you rehab again, and I'm sure he's mentally drained. Like Gronk, they was asking him about it, and he was in tears over it, talking about how football just taken his joy and from life in general. And I was like, it really gives you a perspective of how they're more than athletes.
Yeah, I mean, because dude, these guys have to be able to walk. Later on in their lives, after their careers may be over. I mean, they have to be able to take care of themselves and still live life and enjoy the money they've received and whatnot. And I don't think any guilt should be felt. I don't agree with how the fans booed him. I don't agree. I read something, not sure if it's true, about fans slashing his tires or something. Like I said, that's just something I've seen somebody share. But I mean. I get it. Yeah, you're losing your quarterback. You have Jacoby Brissett coming up, whatever. But you're losing your quarterback. And it sucks, and it hurts me. If Drew Brees decided to quit, at first I'd probably be livid and be like, oh, fuck, we're losing him. Like, this is over with for a long time. But at the same time, at the end of the day, if you care about the players, you want to see them do well. And you want to see them be able to live and be healthy. So that's the most important thing. And you go back to about what Gronk said. He said that he was, after winning the Super Bowl, he's at his hotel crying in pain. I mean, that's not a celebration at all.
Yeah, no. The supposed to be the highest point in your life, and you're spending it weeping in pain. Like, that's terrible.
Yeah, there's something super wrong with that. So, all the luck to Andrew Luck.
Shout out to I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, I'm trying to throw those pizzazz on it,
So, but shout out to the Colts for letting him keep that $24.8 million. That was
super dope.
Pretty stand up of them to do.
Yeah, I mean, they firsthand seen what he's going through. It's not hurting him. So, I mean, why not?
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't keep paying nobody $24 million. I couldn't be a part of that. But shout out to them for doing that. And speaking of players not being there, players ruining fantasy, Lamar Miller.
Yeah, another huge guy. Not as important as he had been in past seasons when it comes to a fantasy value, but I mean, Lamar Miller's a guy that I think I might have had him last year or at least the year before.
You did, yeah, you had him last year.
Yeah, and a pretty decent, solid. I mean, super solid for a flex position.
Yeah. Running back 3 or first one off your bench. Not a bad guy. 10 plus points every week. No more than 20, but.
The thing is, their backup, like I think it was Deontay or something Foreman, is on the IR as well. So I don't know what's about to happen.
Well, they have Duke Johnson, and I was
That's the team he went to.
Yeah. So they have Duke Johnson.
Okay. Oh, he's about to have a year, man.
That's what I was gonna want to bring up and kind of discuss with you. Do you think he's a starting running back?
I don't think he's a starting running back, but I think if you have to give him as many touches as he's probably going to have, I mean,
so you're not thinking of not a 1 or 2, but possibly a flex.
Yeah, I mean, just because of just kind of like a Chris Carson position where you're touching the ball so damn much, you might be able to be like an RB2 just because of the amount of times you get to touch it. And the opportunities there, what he makes out of it's really what's going to tell the tale. In Cleveland, I mean, he was on a team last year, and fantasy people, kept him. I think he was on a team last year.
And he's one of the top receiving back, in my opinion, one of the top backs, to receive out of the backfield.
Yeah.
So in that offense, depending on that horrific offensive line, yeah. I think he could definitely produce.
Yeah, for sure. I'm thinking RB2. Somewhere in the RB2 range. I mean, definitely a high ceiling of what he could turn it into, but also very low. I mean, it's like it could go either way. It's a dramatic either way type situation in my eyes. So
yeah. I'm glad I don't have him, but I could very well regret that.
Yo, Shady Brady, the guy, the career-ending team on our fantasy league, he wants him bad. And
if he does, he'll break his leg.
he'll get injured, and not to mention, but Shady Brady he'll put all on the line to get a player he wants. We know that for a fact after last year's.
We trade raped him. Rape's it's a rather strong word, rather sensitive nowadays. But
very very much. So.
I can't think of anything. Well, I can't think of anything to better describe what we did to his fantasy team last year.
It was tough, man. I mean, I end up trading the one Kareem Hunt for A.J. Green, Tevin Coleman, a round 1 pick, and Travis Kelce. And then Kareem Hunt gets suspended after the situation he ended up being in. So, yeah, crazy trade in the first place. And then it just ended up it had to be worse. Like, it just made it worse because it was his situation and he gets suspended. And it sounds like what would happen to him.
I'm not certain. I think I got Mike Evans from him for Dalvin Cook straight up. I think that's what I got. And
it was something within the same 20-minute to 15-minute time frame. We were sitting there eating some lunch and
he lost his whole team.
Just lost his whole team and didn't have much left. And it was like, man, at least he has Kareem Hunt, and then that shit happens, and it's like, fuck. Fantasy is so crazy. Like with Reed dropped Andrew Luck, and our quarterbacks are very slim right now. If you're doing fantasy, your quarterbacks are probably slim depending on how many people are in your league. And he ends up grabbing Nick Foles. I tried to talk him into Fitzpatrick, something like that, but he grabbed Nick Foles as his backup, which isn't bad. I mean, who knows what he's going to do for the Jaguars this year.
So, sticking with fantasy,
yeah.
Damian Willis for the Bengals, starting him in place of A.J. Green.
Yeah, crazy. I literally jumped to go pick him up.
Undrafted wide receiver.
Yeah. And like I said, it depends on what you can make of the opportunity. You have Andy Dalton throwing to you. He's weird, but I mean, he's made stars before, like AJ Green, and so who's the other guy they had last year?
The Bengals wide receivers, Tyler Boyd.
Yeah. He's already on the team. I picked him up in another league, and he's already being looked. The other guys are being looked over him, so that's wild.
Yeah, no, Tyler's still there, and I'm actually pretty high on him. Also, just a kind of a fun fact: when Damian Willis was announced to be a starter for Week 1, they also announced their left guard who would be starting, who goes by the name Michael Jordan.
Oh, nice.
So just a little fun fact right there. Fantasy has nothing to do with left guards, but
is he is it the same Michael Jordan that played in Black Panther or what? Michael B?
No, I think it's the one that played for the White Sox and the Chicago Bulls.
Oh, the one that played with the Orlando Magic.
Nuh-uh. No, sir.
Oh, the Washington Wizards. Was it Washington?
Yeah, yes, Washington Wizards. Yeah, he played for the Washington Wizards.
Oh, man, I just looked bad on national broadcast.
Well,
live from New Mexico.
We are, yes. By the way, thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah.
We're live from Carlsbad, New Mexico.
Well, we aren't live, and we're not. I'm not in New Mexico.
We're not live.
And I'm not in New Mexico either. But we are bringing the desert and the swamps together in this broadcast right now.
I would rather be in the swamps more than out here any day of my life.
No hate on New Mexico, but I'm about to throw some hate on New Mexico. Out of all the states I've visited in my whole entire life, it was the worst drive-through for a state that I've ever. I drove through it, and it was literally so dusty on the interstate that it was just disgusting. I hated everything about that state when I went through it. I'm sure there's beautiful parts. I didn't care for any of them.
I've never seen them. Yeah, I haven't seen them either. So,
I mean, we just lost about at least 15 to 16 fans in New Mexico, but it's gonna be fun.
because we're popping out here for sure.
But we talked about earlier, it's hard for us to kind of get around now. We're getting huge. We're growing at a quick pace, and we're not used to it, and it's hard to even go out in stores now without people hounding us saying, "Wow, dude, that's the guy from the Dirty Pelican podcast." That's what you said earlier.
Yeah. Just walking around Walmart and people asking for autographs. I had signed a baby earlier, man.
Yeah, I mean to go along with the music fame that I've obviously received in the area, and it's a little overbearing. I stay in the house as much as I can now these days, but also some other huge news.
No. So just to kind of backtrack, we kind of got off subject. I was gonna say, and we'll lose Michael Jordan fans over this. He retired in 2002, 2003, right before LeBron James was drafted. And I don't think that's a coincidence.
He didn't want to be outshined. Kobe didn't look great when LeBron was looking great. It's kind of a weird time.
Yeah, just kind of a weird little time.
Yeah, Kobe wasn't looking all Kobe whenever LeBron entered the league. Just saying. Just saying. But speaking of basketball, speaking of LeBron James, another big thing, at least for us, for sure, which could either be good or bad as well. The Lakers signed Dwight Howard. And if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they signed him to a non-guarantee contract? So he has to do his part. He can't get injured and get money, correct? Because they don't trust him yet.
I'm not 100% on that. I haven't looked. The last I saw, he was on a contract that I can't remember what they exactly called it, but it would pay him $14,490 a day.
Oh wow!
Until October the 21st.
Yeah. Well, I just saw it said non-guaranteed, so I just put it together like, okay, well, they don't trust him very much right now. They're not guaranteeing him money, so if he fucks up or if he has some problems here and there, they can just get rid of him and not have to pay him. That's what I took from it. I'm not 100% sure.
That's essentially a non-guaranteed. Yeah, they don't word it like that, but pretty much.
Yeah. It's an interesting pickup. You lose Boogie Cousins, which also did you read about the Boogie Cousins drama?
Yeah. I seen that, and honestly, it surprises me that this is the first time I've heard something like that because of the attitude he has and plays with, which I love. I absolutely love the attitude. But I had seen on Instagram someone commented and said he has a point, and someone else commented and said, "Yeah, hollow points."
So, literally said he would kill her if the kid couldn't come to the wedding. I think that's what it was.
Yeah. He just got married. He said he was gonna pull a bullet in her head, and he said, something along the lines of he might do it without even getting his hands dirty, referring to
Jesus.
Paying someone.
See, I didn't look into what was actually said. I just saw like the headline, so I went with it, and yeah, that's even worse. God, that's bad.
It was bad. It was bad. But speaking on basketball, we signed Dwight, which is dope. Also, FIBA begins in 3 days, and so we have 3 exhibition matches. Before it starts. I'm pretty sure most everybody does. We lost in one of the tune-up exhibition games to Australia. Patty Mills, a guard for the San Antonio Spurs for the Australian national team, he dropped 30. That was the first ever exhibition lost in our history. And
not great.
No, not good. And Australia never beat us in the 55 years that we've been doing this.
Oh, shit. On a side note, I don't know if you're looking at the fantasy chat room right now. Philly said, hey.
Yeah, I've seen that. So Ree's back in it. So,
That's
shout
funny.
out to him.
That's cool. Yeah.
Speaking of Ree, another Ree's River Rats this week. So
well, I guess we could just, since we got brought up, let's go ahead and take some time aside and hear from our sponsor, Ree's River Rats.
Yeah, I agree. Let's do that. Y'all enjoy.
Hey y'all, this is Ree with Ree's River Rat Bait Shop, located down here off of River Rat Road. Now that the kids are back off to school, what better thing to do than to get back in the lake to do some fishing? Come in this weekend for our special on live bait, only $9.99. Hope to see all you masturbators down here soon. See ya!
Wow, man, those Ree's River Rats. They provide some great products no matter what they do.
Yeah, no matter what, and it changed weekly. So
yeah, wonderful.
Anything you want, you get it from him for sure.
What a great guy. What a great guy. Also, what did you call it? He's an assistant of some sorts.
Our studio technician.
Technician. That's what it
is. He almost had an opportunity to get promoted to studio engineer. But that orange soda fiasco we had where he brought one, I stared at it and I didn't get one. Really hurt his chances.
Yeah, he messes up every now and then. Also, while we're just kind of bullshitting right now, I will say shout out to Jacob. His birthday is today. So shout out to my boy Jacob. Yeah, he's actually on a little vacation right now. He went dolphin viewing the other day and shit like that. So that's super dope. My birthday was the day before his. So shout out to
I had that in my notes. I wanted to kind of address that. That was actually under my major news notes.
Oh shit!
So
I made major news right next to Andrew Luck and Dwight Howard.
You're actually right under Dwight Howard, and it was like major news. And I made a little side note: things that'll probably fuck up, and it's signing Dwight Howard and then your birthday.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
I kept it all, real constructed in similar things next to similar things.
You want to know what I actually did? This is to celebrate my birthday. What I actually did was it's almost sad. It's a little productive, but almost sad. Me and Ree go to Bastrop. We have a Mexican dinner with my parents and then my sister and my brother-in-law. And then after that happens, we come back and we sit down with Evan. We drink some vodka and watch the new Dave Chappelle comedy Netflix special, which is absolutely hilarious, by the way, if you hadn't seen it.
No, I haven't. As soon as I get Wi-Fi, man, that was like one of the top things I wanted to check out.
That shit is hilarious, and that's what I did. We got a little fucked up. Evan ended up giving us some pep talks about stuff, and shout out to Evan. He actually pep talked me and got me in the mood to do my first show ever. Gave me a huge talk, and yeah. So that's how I celebrated the big old 27.
27 sounds ancient.
It don't sound good, No. Time is running out. It's like those racing games,
sure.
man. When you're not hitting the checkpoint on time, time is running out. It's getting bad.
Yeah,
But,
5, 4, 3. You're at like 2 right now, and it's coming up quick.
Yeah, it's ticking. It never stops. But whatever. Fuck it. What? So what? Oh, you were talking about, or did you finish talking about the basketball?
Yeah, the FIBA thing just kind of. That's just something that really sucks. It's storming here. There's rain in the desert. Wow.
Wow.
So No, but I do want to backtrack one more thing on football and my notes that I had missed. And it's more or less just something I'm excited about. Flash Gordon is back.
Yeah,
so,
that's super dope.
Super excited about that. And, man, the Patriots wide receiver core is insane.
Man, their team looks nice right now. And, shit, it can look bad and still be nice. That's the thing about them.
Yeah, I was about to say, as if they need all these weapons. They have the ultimate weapon.
And you got Josh Gordon, you have Julian Edelman, you have
Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah, and it's nasty. And then James White and Sony Michel coming out the backfield. I mean, who's their tight end?
Theirs?
Yeah.
Good question.
Did they sign Cameron Meredith?
I think they did.
I think they actually did sign Cameron Meredith, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that again, just like he needs it, like Tom Brady needs it. He's the smartest, by far the smartest, most calculated decision making. I feel like quarterback there is. I mean, he's gonna find you. He's gonna find an open hole. He never seems to be too stressed back there. I mean, it's cool.
They also their tight end is Benjamin Watson.
Maybe that's who I'm thinking about that signed from the Saints. Because I think Benjamin Watson retired and then immediately was like, you know what, Patriots.
They have Ben Watson and Cam Meredith. So.
Oh, nice. They're probably looking at it and saying, hey, the Saints are probably going to be really close to the Super Bowl. If we can grab these two guys up, maybe we can get some intel.
Yeah, maybe.
maybe something like that's happening. I don't know. Like I said,
but yeah, just something that kind of excited me. I did want to kind of pick your brain about something here since I'm in New Mexico, very close to Roswell, New Mexico, not too far. Area 51, man. Bullshit, or do you believe the hype?
Yeah, my sister just bought me some socks from Area 51.
Well,
some alien socks.
She went to a gift store.
Yeah,
just a little gift shop.
Oh no! She went to Area 51 and they have some alien socks. It was actually an alien's pair of socks along with the shot glass that the alien was using. She grabbed those things up for me, brought them home.
So I suppose you're 100% in with it. Real.
Actually, I don't. Okay, so here's my deal. I don't know if I believe in Area 51 being Area 51. Or I don't know what that is. Do I believe or do I think there's life for like other life forms, shit like that out there? 110,000%. I mean, I think it's almost selfish to think that there's not. I mean, to think we're the only thing in the whole universe that's like literally insanely large, like it just makes no sense. So, but Area 51, I mean, I'm sure if Area 51's not the place, there is a place like where.
So you think there is somewhere on Earth where we have came in contact with extraterrestrial life forms and that we like have info on them?
Yeah, 100%. I'm not saying that we've captured them and we have them in there all contained and shit, but I do 100% feel like there is a building somewhere that's literally there for that reason. Like, hey, this is what's going on out there. Maybe we've come in contact, or maybe we've seen something, or or maybe we're looking for something still. I think 100%, man. There has to be. There's no way, in my opinion.
Man.
I think there's some things from back in the day that are so unexplainable. That like, I think there was something I was watching, Ancient Aliens or something like that with Tyler Moody, and he ended up showing me like how it's three different parts of the Earth have like these caves in them, and at the back of each cave has like some of the same exact drawing on it, and like they're all symmetrical and shit. And like at the time, there was no way to travel that far or get that information to draw the same shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
there's
weird,
definitely, dude. And how the I want to say it's the pyramids, maybe, or it could be the Mayan pyramids. I'm not sure. Yeah. But how that all like lines up perfectly with stars and stuff like that, and it's like, man, how? Yeah. Like, I can't do that with all the technology we have now. I can't do that.
If all the technology we have now, we can't make, like, there was another episode of that, I think, that there's, like, these big balls of stone that are absolutely perfectly round balls of stone that were carved by the Egyptians or something like that, or by somebody. And, like, with technology that we have today, we almost can't do it as perfect as it was done then. And all they fucking, like, so you're telling me these motherfuckers had a rock and beat it with another rock until it turned into a circle? That shit don't make any sense.
Literally. and then you got Stonehenge, where you have all these gigantic, like, tons and tons of rocks that, like, weight-wise, that we would need cranes and things to move now, yet somehow, some way, they moved them and put them all in a perfect little circle. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Dude, there's no way. Like I said, I think it's almost, I was in an earth science class, and my teacher was one of the meteorologists from town, Don Wheeler, I think. And he was my teacher, and he popped up a picture of the universe and showed where we were, and we were like one of the tiniest dots on a fucking screen full of huge, medium-sized, small dots. It was literally covering the screen with like white dots in a big black mass. And he was like, here we are, and here's our universe. And there was like the little part that looked like a universe that we're in, there was so many more out there that we have seen through something. And I was like, man, the most selfish thing in the world is to think we're the only living, breathing, or existing fucking life form out there. There's definitely other shit going on. I think there's places way more advanced than we are. I believe in a lot of weird shit, though. I just open minded when it comes to that.
I think I'm right there with you as far as there's more out there. I don't think I'm gonna have to disagree. I don't think we on Earth have any proof.
Yeah.
Of anything. I just don't. It's so big, and I feel like it'd be just as much as we don't, we can't find anything, they might not can find us.
Yeah.
I watched the Joe Rogan podcast the other day. He had Bernie Sanders on it.
Oh,
and he asked Bernie if Bernie got elected. Like, they had a super serious podcast. Super serious. And at the end, he asked Bernie if Bernie becomes president, will he tell us the secrets of Area 51? And Bernie said he would, so... Cool. Bernie said his wife would make him. So if Bernie gets elected, Democrat or Republic, we need to know this. So everybody, we're Team Bernie, okay?
Team Bernie Mac.
We got to get Bernie in there to know. But
yeah, man, that's
yeah.
I'm extremely weird with that shit. I've had conversations where I've told people man, in the grand scheme of things, you take an ant bed in your yard and. If you dissect, get an ant farm and look at all the tunnels they build and how crazy their system is, and then you take our system and you could just we could be like an ant farm in somebody's fucking room in a different place. It's just, I don't know, you can fucking be weird and break it down into all these different ways that I've tried to explain to people, but there's atoms and the way cells and shit create and build together and form a human body, a dust bunny under somebody's couch, our whole universe can exist within that or something. It's weird. It's probably not, but I mean, I'm just saying anything, literally anything under that you can think of is possible, because at the end of the day, we are just fucking floating in a black mass of nothing. It's just, anything.
Yeah. So you say all these wild things, and then you say, okay, there's no way this wild thing you just said can be real. And you're like, okay, well, we're on a rock floating amongst tons of other rocks in a big black area of nothingness, and if we wasn't on this specific rock, we'd all die.
Yeah, exactly. And dude, another thing, just what do you think about something that kind of terrifies me about being on Earth? What the fuck do you think's going on in the deepest parts of the ocean that nobody's ever been able to reach?
Oh man, I think about that all the time.
How weird
Not more or less of I think that there's so many things that especially sea creatures that are extinct, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, if it started getting hot on the surface or however some dinosaurs went extinct, why would the water ones not just go to the deepest, darkest depth, and then they just end up, finding a home there and stay? I feel like if we ever do go down there, there's going to be some shit down there that we should have never messed with.
Oh yeah, dude. I think that because first off, do we is there even any kind of fucking proof, or not proof, but just any kind of idea how far down that shit goes? Is there any stopping point that anybody knows about? Because, dude,
I mean, I know there's one trench that people say is maybe it's the deepest discovered. I'm gonna check that out, but
yeah,
I don't think it's considered the deepest. It's the deepest we know about.
Yeah. Well, that's just weird. And like you said, I think if anybody somehow I just don't feel like you want to know what's down there. That water creeps me out. Some huge fish and shit are weird to me. They are scary looking, and I don't want to fucking know what's down there.
Oh, no. Yeah, the ones that I know are real, I don't want to mess with. And the ones that are in water 10 foot deep, I don't really care for. So
yeah, I really don't even like when they touch my ankles. I'm like, I don't fuck with fish like that. I wish y'all would leave me alone. Like,
so I don't want to get near fish that have big teeth. Like sharks are scary enough. Imagine if there's mega sharks or something that eats sharks. Like, I don't want no part of that.
There's probably real life Loch Ness monster type shit down there somewhere, doing all types of weird shit. I mean, I don't fucking know. It's weird. It's super weird. I've thought about that 100,000 times too, and I'm like, man, that is a super weird part of the earth that we don't know anything about, but we are still living here on it with that shit. And it's super awkward.
It's the Challenger Deep in the Marina Trench is the deepest known part in the Earth's ocean. So in 2010, we mapped it at 36,000 feet below sea level. So that's...
I don't even know how to fathom that.
Yeah, well, 36,000, I think Mount Everest, if I'm not mistaken, is 38,000. So the highest point on Earth is almost, the same as the lowest point. So there's like a...
Man.
that's almost an 80,000, together difference of... So, I mean, there's so much stuff that we don't know. And, like, I'm kind of, like, with you on that, I don't really care. As long as it stays down there, I don't really care nothing about that.
Man, I just hope like I'm not ever gonna go into any type of religious type conversations or anything. So I don't know what everybody believes or whatever, but like I just hope.
So Mount Everest is 29,000, so it's actually 7,000 feet deeper.
Jesus. And you know how much shit's on Mount Everest? All types of shit.
Oh, yeah, and people die climbing Mount Everest because it's so high you get up there and you can't breathe, anything like that. Imagine what it would do. I bet if you just, like, went down to the bottom of that trench and just, like, hopped out of a submarine, you'd probably just, like, explode.
No, like, real shit. Like, I feel like it would rip you up, like, something. Like, your shit would cave in so much.
Yeah, like all the pressure. If you go to the bottom of a swimming pool that's 8 foot, your ears start hurting.
Yeah.
So, like, you would hop out there and, you'd probably just, like, you'd probably just blow up.
I feel like we should be doing the same shit that we do in space to the ocean. Like, I don't care to find out, like I said, but I mean, shit, why aren't we? I mean, obviously, we probably are. Obviously, if they can, in 2010, they know how deep it is.
Yeah. I mean, they probably are.
You send a rocket up there, send a rocket down there, some shit, a submarine rocket, and see what the fuck's going on.
It's so much to cover that.
Yeah.
They probably, like you said, they probably are, and they just haven't got it done yet.
Not to mention how fucking dark it would be.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you literally, with the biggest fucking headlights in the world, you'd see right in front of you, and that would be it.
No, that's it. Yeah, and
God,
then that's another thing that freaks me out. Like, I watch videos of, like, submarines or whatever they want to call them deep down there, and you can barely see in front of you, and then things just, like, you're just driving along and things pop up in front of you. It wouldn't matter to me if it was, like, a little catfish. I would scream. I would just freak out.
It's terrifying, but, like, you don't know what the fuck's going to be down there. I mean, literally, there's some fish that aren't even like sharks and stuff that are just ridiculously huge. You can swallow you. Like, it's just weird. Like, I don't know. Fuck that.
So, with all the technology we have, and we haven't done that, that kind of brings me to the next thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, with all the technology we have in our lifetime, you're 27, I'm about to be 25, will there be, and I know there is technology that's, like, been implanted in humans and things, but what I'm kind of more or less referring to is, like implants of, like, say your phone's implanted in your head and you can use your phone, social media, everything with your head. There's not an actual object. You just see it and can pull it up by thoughts and stuff like that. Like,
they would have to, I think it would drive people, I think it would kill people. And the reason I say that is because, like, if you ever taken a second to think about how fast your mind can go, like, how you could just fucking, like, think about social media or thinking about anything and how fast your mind can jump around, and you would be trying to cover so many thoughts of things at the same time. I feel like it would literally drive people mentally insane if it was inside of your head.
Yeah, but like, what if they got it right, and then on the, you're looking at that on the negative side. On the positive side, they get that right, and now any information you just can think of is at the tip of your fingers. Like, of course, you can't be a doctor because you can't Google.
Oh, yeah, you could, like, fucking search, like, or anything you would search on your phone at random, you can search with your head. Yeah, that'd be weird. Yeah, that'd be fucking...
Right, so, like, you can't be a doctor or anything, but, like, because you need training. You can't just Google, how do I do open heart surgery? But
yeah,
just say, car breaks down and you don't, your engine making a weird noise. Just immediately... you can think of what's going on and you can fix it. I mean, that would be insane.
Man, I think that, like, again, I mean, obviously, I think, like, I'm a negative Nancy, I guess, and I think of things the worst way possible. I mean, I think that I'm trained to be that way, but, like, oh, man, everything would just be so much worse. Like, I feel like everybody would just use it for, I don't believe in people, and I feel like everybody would just use it for the worst things possible, and it would just turn into a shit show so fast.
I mean, we're talking about the same people that commit mass shootings just because.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, people now to have the knowledge of a lot of things you don't know, even though you have it in your hand and you can Google it, but now you just gotta think shit, and all of a sudden shit's just popping off. I don't know, man. Like, I don't trust people enough for all that crazy shit. So yeah, I don't know. That'd be crazy if they did that. I mean, I think eventually, after we die, after, like, our lifetime's over with. Our kid's lifetime, whenever I decide to throw one of those out there, after all this shit happens in those lifetimes, like lifetimes away from now, there's no fucking telling, dude, because just from the moments that I've been alive, like, just from being in grade school and getting my first fucking Motorola Razr cell phone, flip phone, where we're sitting there trying to send, like, little ringtones and shit to each other and playing Snake on our phone. And it was
trying to figure out how to have a ring back.
Yeah, dude. And now, like, just to see how far a phone has come in just the years that I've been alive and, like, technology in general, dude. There's no like, I literally went fucking brain dead.
I mean, there's like no limit on what can or can't happen.
There's no limit. Anything is fucking possible with that shit, and it's really crazy. But yeah, like I said, lifetimes from now, I mean, it'd be stupid if we didn't have spaceships. Like just like all the future shit always like says. I think we're gonna have all types of weird shit.
Yeah, I mean, I hope
not spaceships, but like flying cars and shit.
Yeah, I hope that, like, in our lifetime, even if we're too old to be a part of it, I do want to see flying, like, floating cars. I want to see colonies on Mars and the moon. I want to see self-driving cars that are, like, self-driving. Like, the whole world's got self-driving cars. Like, that would be super dope.
Like a colony, like, to, like, people living there?
Yeah, like, the movies and stuff. You got
those motherfuckers on the moon that live on the moon would do something so bad to try to make us not receive our moonlight that we need to live, and we would die.
Yeah. Or what we could do is they do that, and we just leave them on the moon. Just go up there, take their ship, and be like, see you later.
Yeah, we'll freeze to death.
And then once... no, we leave them on the moon. Yeah, we leave them on the moon. When they all die off from doing that dumb shit, we go take... we just go fix it.
What if we all die off from them doing the dumb shit? Because I think we need the moonlight, right?
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, basically, moonlight's only sunlight that's blocked by a rock.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, true.
It's no different. So I just think, like... I don't really know what they could do. Maybe change the moon's orbit so it's sunny all the time. That would be, like, a tragedy.
Unbearable.
Yeah, it would suck. Like, hot all the time. Yeah, that'd be bad.
Weird shit. Yeah, I have a really bad trust issues.
Yeah, especially with a world full of mass murderers and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, man, if you can't go watch a damn movie in a theater without thinking, like, oh, shit,
literally,
how's that guy getting up in the middle of the movie and, like what the fuck's going on? And I don't know. It's bad times.
I mean, like, the last two were at a club and Walmart. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly.
I have to be afraid to go get a couple of drinks or go shopping. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Weird shit, man. That Dave Chappelle, you need to go watch that. That dude's stand-up is wild because, like, he's sitting there talking about, like, shit that's just very controversial to even think about speaking of. I think he talked about Michael Jackson and R. Kelly and, like, a bunch of shit they were going through.
Well, comedians are allowed to do that. They can say whatever they want. They're, like, the only people in the world that have a platform and can say whatever they want.
Yeah, like, nobody
because
really
it's
gets
funny.
too mad. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
They make you laugh at the end of it, and you're like, damn, that is kind of funny. Oh, fuck. We actually dove. We probably dove deeper than the deepest part of the ocean right there on the podcast.
Yeah. Also wanted to kind of touch on. Man, I kind of don't want to use this right now because it's more or less a question, and of course we do the 5 questions, but just to kind of give the viewers like a taste of who we are and things we like. I wanted to like hear something. I know you take a lot of family vacations, like even now.
Yeah.
And I just wanted you to kind of tell everybody, your most memorable one, the one you enjoyed the most, or the worst one, but you remember it the most. Something like that.
Are you wanting to save that for the 5 questions?
Well, no, I'm going to go ahead and I have 5 questions, so we'll just go ahead and like kind of talk about that one. Just a little story to be interesting, you know what I mean?
Well, most memorable, or one that was like, I mean, I went to WrestleManias and shit like that a lot. I've been with like 5 of those. But like, the most memorable like moment of a vacation that I remember is going to the ocean and building a sandcastle with my mom, and then my aunt, my cousin, my dad, and my sister was out in the ocean, and like no one in my family can swim, like worth a shit. Like I can swimish, like that was a weird. I can swimish, like it's kind of swim.
It works for me.
Yeah, I can swimish, but I mean that's pretty much it. So I remember they all go out into the ocean. And, I mean, I don't know what the fuck's going on while they're out there. No one, we're just like, whatever. But Nicole, which is my cousin, was the only one that did have any kind of swimming in her. Well, apparently my sister stepped off of a barge, maybe. I don't know what they're fucking called. But she hit a spot where it
goes
off.
from 5 foot to 50.
Yeah, and so she stepped off and went straight under, and they're all holding hands. So when she goes under, it pulls my dad under, and he falls off of it, which pulls my aunt under. It's like literally a terrible train of shit. And so they're all
just death after death waiting to happen.
Yeah, and like my sister's like pushing on their heads trying to get up because I mean everybody's just panicking underwater, and my cousin is kind of swimming and helping, and like I don't remember the exact story of what happened, how it happened, but they all somehow ended up back where they needed to be. But I just remember like them coming back on there panicking, like, and that's just a story that has kind of rang with me for a long time because I just remember they all were like, I mean fucking the ocean. I mean, one fucking step one way and you're lost in that bitch. Like, I mean, real shit. Like, it's a mass of just nothing. So, I mean, it was a crazy story that happened. I'm
glad you went the negative way. I mean,
I don't go
fits
positive,
you,
bro.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, it fits the whole episode of the podcast. Like, I don't think we've talked about good shit at all.
Now, good shit, I mean, I've had plenty of good vacations, but I mean, mostly the great vacations or the fun stuff people do is so generic. Hey, we went to a few shows. I went to a Titanic museum. I seen Elvis impersonators. We went to an amusement park. I mean, it's like, it was really fun and they're memorable, but like, I mean, the bad shit's like, oh, fuck, that almost happened. So, it's crazy.
That's kind of how mine is. Like, my most memorable one, we went to the St. Louis Arch in St. Louis, Missouri. And if I'm not mistaken, I know at the time it was the first time in the St. Louis Arch's history that day it was closed down. It was like the day we went. It was, and if nothing has changed, it's the first and only time in their history that it was closed down. Is the day I went, and I was like, "This is about fucking right." Like, however long that thing's been up, before and since the day I'm there, it's closed.
The one day in the history of the Arch that is closed.
Yeah, literally, the history of its whole life.
Fucking go. That's great.
I mean, I was like, my luck, of course, and it was like something. I think it was like a utility room, or not like for dryers and stuff, but like where I guess breaker boxes and things were just caught on fire, so they shut the whole damn thing down. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
That's like the worst fucking luck in the history of luck.
I mean, I wouldn't go up anyway. It's super fucking high. And
that's the worst fucking luck. That's worse luck than Andrew Luck has.
Well, depends on who you're asking.
Yeah, well, if you're asking
you throwing them little luck things in there.
I'm just trying to make it interesting.
I like it.
Yeah, he. I mean, I was about to go off and start talking about him again. Yeah, that's fucking unlucky. That's trash. One time I went to kind of transition into another vacation. Weird story. A dude came up to me, surfing our table at like some barbecue place, and this dude walks up and he's fucking got a huge ECW tattoo on his arm. And I was like, "Oh shit, man! I fucking love wrestling." And he was like, oh shit, man, ECW, yeah. And like we're fucking talking, and I showed him my music and shit at the time, and it was like the Incline shit, and it's fucking early terrible shit. Either way,
so he lied to you and told you it was dope.
Oh, it was Sink or Swim. And he wrote me, and so he said he listened to the whole thing. He said, man, I really love the song The Decline. Man, when you mentioned CM Punk. And I was like, really?
So he's obsessed.
Oh, yeah. I was like, out of 12 tracks, this is the one thing you fucking remember is that I mentioned CM Punk in his damn song. And, just fucking random. But, I mean, I also ate like I don't know, the huge fucking fried chicken that day. It was weird. Great, good place. Dope shit.
Well, speaking of wrestling, any news you've heard on that since?
Big news.
Big news?
Big news, man. Jon Moxley is out of the match with Kenny Omega on the show. So I don't know if it's the next pay-per-view or if it's a TV show, whatever it was, but Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega was a huge match announced, and Jon Moxley has like fucking staph or something in his elbow, and they pull him out and replace him with Pac, which is Adrian Neville from WWE. And so now it's Neville or Pac versus Kenny Omega. Still a dope fucking match.
Still going to be a dope match, but yeah, that's...
And dude, they show some promos, and they break the news to Kenny Omega as he's in the studio recording, like in a studio thing, recording a promo to go against Jon Moxley. They walk in and tell him he's out of the match during the promo, and it's like, what? Like, it's like a weird little thing that happens, and they're like, hey, you can stop because, I mean, this is what happened. He's like, no, keep rolling. He changes his whole fucking promo, and I haven't watched the second part, but he changes his whole promo and goes a different direction with it. So, super Kenny Omega special, and it's just super dope that he did that. And like don't trash what I've said. Like, let's just go a different route. Like, this is what's happening now. Fuck it. This is what's happening now. So
yeah,
crazy.
I like that. I actually watched today the Jeff Hardy incident, and I was super impressed with how Eric Bischoff kind of improvised on that.
Yeah. Oh man, that sucks.
Oh yeah, Sting was not a happy man.
No, not at all.
The crowd at the end started chanting bullshit, and Sting was at the top of the ramp just saying, I agree. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah, but I mean, Jeff Hardy still won the WWE Championship after that, so fuck everybody.
Well, yeah, you're right. He did. FYI, everyone listening, Jeff Hardy does no wrong. DWI does no wrong.
That's the cop's fault for catching him.
On dope, does no wrong.
No, when they caught him with all those pills, they shouldn't have been looking. You know?
Exactly, yeah.
Hey, sometimes if you don't go sniffing and looking for shit, you won't find nothing you don't like, okay? So just leave it alone. You know,
why don't you apply that to your relationships?
Well, it's because I don't have any of those anymore.
Well.
Two more little things I will mention. I read online that one of the TV shows for AEW, you know, they're now and they have announced and put together all of the, or at least a lot of the first TV taping shows in different cities, because they're a moving show, but they're not going to do house shows, so they're going to do like, hey, you get one show in this state, the next week will be here, which is cool. I like that. It doesn't tire the wrestlers out, that kind of shit. But they're having super, super bad trouble selling out. Like, a lot of the shows are selling out doing well, but Washington, D.C. or the state of Washington, I think, or maybe, I'm not sure. But one of those places are having a terrible time selling tickets. Like, their tickets are dropping like $6 a ticket and shit, trying to sell out that place. And which is super weird. I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe there's no wrestling fans there or something like that. I'm not sure, but it's just a weird situation since they usually sell out fucking everything in 2 seconds. I mean, it's just weird that they're having trouble anywhere.
Yeah. Also, some news we kind of skipped over, which is nothing really big deal. Have you seen about the female soccer player who is trying to become an NFL kicker?
No, I have not, but I mean, that's the position that they could start with to be fucking acceptable for sure.
Yeah, she made a 55-yarder at the Eagles practice.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so like impressive.
Whoa,
and she said multiple teams called her during preseason offering her like a spot, to.
Why didn't she take it?
I guess not the right opportunity. I'm not sure.
Man, it's all fun until someone roughs the kicker and somebody tries to make something of it.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until she gets rocked.
Yeah, all of a sudden
and then
she's knocked out.
That guy gets cut from the NFL for roughing a female kicker, and football's no longer the same anymore.
Man, that's the huge thing. It's the same way, Dana White had mentioned with the UFC. He was asked before they ever had a women's division. He was like, no, that'll never happen. And he's like, people, it just won't happen. Like, it's the same thing. It's like, it's almost never going to be okay for a dude to just fucking, like a fucking weight, like just fucking knock the fuck, like at full speed.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Like, no, I just don't think it's ever going to be okay. I don't think anybody will ever fully support that.
No, trust me, my friend, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, oh, Jesus. I see it now. I'm picking it up and putting it down. That'll get you in trouble.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, a kicker, I can see it. Like I said, when roughing the kicker happens, it's going to be trouble in fucking paradise for that situation.
Speaking of trouble in paradise, Randy Orton read a little snippet from Kofi Kingston's son today. So that's interesting. Their rivalry is becoming extremely interesting to me. Yeah, mainly because I'm on Randy's, crotch like you are, Jeff. But it's actually a good, long, deep storyline.
Yeah, and I mean, even it's super cool because it's been going on since like 2009. I mean, people say that Orton was fully responsible for ending Kofi's push back then.
Well, I looked back. I looked back at some things. I was researching that today, and something happened in a match with Orton and Kofi back then. And anyway, Orton hit an RKO. And I'm not sure if it was the way Kofi sold it or what happened.
When he called him stupid?
Starts yelling stupid, and then they said his push ended then.
Yep.
So 100% believe that that's facts. And I think it's really cool.
They have used that moment in this storyline. Like, Kofi, if I'm not mistaken, Kofi hits Orton with a trouble in paradise. Something happened on the SmackDown or at a pay-per-view, and he called Randy stupid. Like, they
just giving a little reference to it.
They used that because that clip became very popular, and then they definitely used it. And yeah, dude, I always like storylines that last forever. Like, it gives them time to build. It isn't like, hey, we're mad for one pay-per-view. I like things that last to like. I mean, I liked when shit would hit mid-year and then all of a sudden wrap around. I like those two motherfuckers hate each other bad. Now they're wrestling at WrestleMania. Holy shit!
Yeah, like that. I was reading something the other day that was talking about how that's kind of a point where WWE's failing, where they'll be for a month, 2 months, hit the pay-per-view fight, and it's like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
Like, so all that shit that he did before the pay-per-view, then you beat him at the pay-per-view, and now you don't care.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, then all of a sudden, like 3 months later, they'll say, these guys had a crazy rivalry a few months back. They're fighting again. It's like, man, no, you didn't do that right. Like you.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah.
If these two guys hated. I mean, I remember when Triple H and like Shawn Michaels would go after each other. They would just like you would hate each other for so. I'm actually specifically. I think this is a perfect little example of what a storyline, how long it should last, or how it should end, things like that. So the Royal Rumble, around the Royal Rumble time, Chris Jericho. This is like 2004, 3, something maybe think about Royal Rumble 2003, something like that. Chris Jericho comes out and beats the living hell out of Shawn Michaels, who entered I think number 1, something like that. And he beats the hell out of him, bloodies him up, and then eliminates him from the Royal Rumble, like immediately. I think they were number 1 and 2. And he throws Shawn out, jumps him from behind, like I said, bloodied him up. That goes all the way from the Royal Rumble to WrestleMania, which is about a 3-month time period. And that, ends up being a huge match at WrestleMania, Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels. And it was like a 3-month fucking build-up, a whole bunch of segments during it. And that's like a perfect time span. I mean, 3 months is a long time. And, storytelling. I mean, I think Shawn wins the match, and Jericho ends up hugging him at the end, or he's like on his ground. He ends up low blowing him. Just perfect storytelling, perfect time span, and perfect like delivery of a storyline. And they don't do that no more.
No. Everything's so short now, and it's kind of. I don't want to knock them for the no chair shots, things like that, but everything's so vanilla now, and short and vanilla doesn't match. Like, if you're going to be vanilla about everything, at least drag it out so it seems like it's hostile.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what I sent you that screenshot the other day. I seen where, again, all rumors may be going on the internet right now, but it said Vince might be taking a step back and, allowing Eric Bischoff, Paul Heyman, Triple H to run the shows. Super interesting with that. I mean, I think it's time, but I mean that how you're saying the vanilla and stuff. I think that these two guys. You have to admit, even though WCW and ECW failed, I would say besides Attitude Era Time, that was super interesting television, and they thought outside of the box, and they thought outside of like the out of the realm of what's normal in wrestling, and they always tried weird shit. Like there was no factions in wrestling, and then NWO comes along, and it's like something totally fucking different, and it's just super.
I think
super
they
cool.
failed. I think they failed more or less because the exposure was completely different then, and like now. You have so much more reach that who's to say that if WCW and ECW made a comeback, which they won't, but if they did, it could very well work.
It's just a different time, man. I've told every time anybody's ever asked a question about the XFL to me, I've said the same thing. It's a completely different time.
Speaking of the XFL, I'm glad you brought that up, and
Mm-hmm.
you had mentioned on the last episode your feeling of success was partially based on it being a spring league.
Yeah.
A few years back, not sure when, Chase Mink brought this to my attention. Shout out Chase Mink. He's in our fantasy league. Graduated high school with him. That's my boy. The AAF was a spring league that failed miserably. So
Nice.
the spring league thing may work against him.
Well,
But yeah, he brought that to my attention.
You have to have interesting players with social media presence, with star power. You have to have teams people don't mind representing. Fans don't like. Oh, I'm a New York Giant. Like the Dallas Cowboys, for example, is just huge. Like everybody wants to fucking that's a huge fan base. Like you have to have the right pieces everywhere, and that's one thing that I didn't. I think the logos are cool with the XFL. I'm not super happy about all the names I'm guessing they chose. Like, did we cover the names on the last episode?
We ran them down. I'm not sure if
Did we read them? We read them and stuff.
Yeah, we read them. If you
Okay.
want to, you're more than welcome. There's maybe people that didn't listen to episode 1 that is interested. We could definitely cover them again.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's hard to get into it because, like you even stated, a lot of the fucking names are in logos. Even it's all very like create your own team thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The I'm not entirely sure. I want to say it was the Renegade. Yeah, the Renegade.
Yeah, Dallas Renegades.
A few years ago on like Team Creator or Team Mover or something on Madden, that emblem was a choice for your team. And I seen it and I said, come on, man. Like, that's the best y'all got?
I mean, I also feel like they should have picked places that didn't already have other teams. But this is something cool that I did see. So, there's the Tampa Bay Vipers, Los Angeles Wildcats, Seattle Dragons, Houston Roughnecks. I mean, that's weird. Washington D.C. Defenders.
Roughnecks are they're like what you call the lowest rung worker on an oil rig. So that's why it's the Houston Roughnecks.
Dallas Renegades, St. Louis Battlehawks, and the coolest, I think, logo and stuff is the New York Guardians. It's a cool logo and actually a pretty cool name. The thing is, though, what I did see that was actually kind of cool is that a lot of, not NFL teams, but a lot of basketball teams that are in the same state as these new teams are, a lot of basketball Twitters, like let's say, I think the New York Knicks Twitter actually shouted out the new teams of the XFL on their Twitter pages and shit. Like a lot of NBA teams that were in the same cities as these 8 teams of the XFL shouted out their new people saying "Welcome to the city." So I thought that was kind of cool that they're being backed by other huge leagues.
Yeah, that is super dope. And they actually gathered a impressive number of like personnel. Like the coach for I lost it. The coach for the Dallas Renegades is Bob Stoops, who's like a historic coach at the University of Oklahoma, won a national championship, multiple Big Ten championships. So, yeah, I mean, they have impressive personnel working, in the league. And I think, like you said, being in cities that already have football teams may be a knock to them.
Yeah.
Which is one reason I really like St. Louis, because there's no football team there. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the only one that doesn't have a football team with them. So
where are the Cardinals from?
Arizona
Cardinals, yeah.
St. Louis was
nice.
They were the Rams before they moved to LA.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. Like, how do you take something like how do you take like, who's gonna sit there and be like, oh, I'm gonna buy a Dallas Renegade shirt? No, I mean, you're gonna be a Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah, exactly.
With Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott if he plays, people like that. Like, you're gonna, it's just. Yeah, I'm going to be a fucking Tampa Bay Viper. I'm going to be a huge Tampa Bay Viper fan. No, it's like you're going to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer with Jameis Winston and Mike Evans. Like, it's weird. Also, speaking of old Tampa Bay players, Doug Martin gets sold. Dougie Fresh, one of my favorite people to draft under any circumstance, got cut from the Raiders recently.
Yeah, I seen that. Man, poor Doug.
Like, man, I like him.
You like his name.
I literally don't know anything else about him.
Exactly.
I swear to God, on everything, I don't know nothing else about him. I just knew he played for the Buccaneers, and I had him one time, and then all of a sudden he would like fall really late in drafts, and I was like, oh, I got Dougie Fresh, and like that's just literally what I did. Also for Saints, Sheldon, I think it's Sheldon Rankins returned to the team, so he's going to be back in action this year for us. So that's super cool having him back from injury.
Yeah, that's a good guy to have back. Really helpful. I'm trying to think of any more news that we may or may not have hit on.
Well, we've covered the wrestling news, definitely covered football as usual. We did talk about the little stuff going on in basketball that I've seen.
Yeah, FIBA starts in 3 days for anyone who's interested, so check that out.
We have UFC. I think, if I'm not mistaken, is Whitaker versus. Dude, if I don't stop butchering UFC fighters' names, Ethan's gonna punch me in the face and break my orbital.
Yeah.
He's and I don't even know how to fucking say it. Is Whitaker versus Analijo? Was that close?
I think you hit the nail on the head, bro.
Okay, good. Because I was worried.
Say it again.
Oh, it's Robert Whitaker versus Ayasamashwashwa. Okay,
yeah. So anyone who wants to fact check us, don't even worry about it, because he's right. He's spot on.
Yeah, 100%. Paige Van Zandt's husband beat the fuck out of somebody at Bellator as well. He's gonna be. I think they're trying to probably get him pushed to the UFC pretty soon. If you care, it's just something random.
Yeah, no, that'll be good though. I mean,
she's hot. She got her boobs done, so she probably moved up a weight class or something. But yeah, she's
yeah, maybe gained 15 pounds.
Yeah, something. I mean, I haven't seen her. I haven't seen. She always gets injured a million times. I don't know what she's doing right now, but she's hot. That's why I know who she is.
They're hard to keep up with, honestly, because
hey, homie, your phone's cutting out real bad. I don't hear nothing you're saying.
Well, I was saying that.
Oh no, it's back. You're back.
The UFC fighters, they're kind of hard to keep up with because there's a lot of them actually that you don't see on a pay-per-view basis or things like that. So unless you're paying close attention, you don't really keep up with them very well.
Oh, dude, listen to this. So Ethan messaged me yesterday and showed me this information. He may have posted it on the. I don't know if he posted it or whatever. But so Stipe Miocic beats Daniel Cormier for the heavyweight title, and on the same night he gets news from his father that his father's cured from cancer. Right, so dope. Right, super cool. Daniel Cormier loses the belt and then loses his dad to cancer.
Yeah, I seen that. John Jones sent out a pretty heartfelt message basically saying it's more than a sport, all beef aside, because when John Jones lost his mom, DC reached out.
Yeah.
So that's cool to see them put that aside and be adults, I guess, for once. Of course, they get back in the octagon. There's bad blood. But it is cool to see them support their brothers.
Yeah, it's just a weird coincidence, man. An all-time high for Stipe and all-time low for DC. It's just super, super wild. I almost feel like he doesn't retire because of it. I mean, go out there and keep going. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. It's a weird sport. You never know what's going to happen. You can go back in there and lose again, and then your fucking legacy starts getting... A legacy in UFC gets tarnished so quickly that it's insane. I mean, Ronda Rousey loses 2 fights and she's just fucking dust. I mean, she still got inducted to the Hall of Fame and she's still important, but it's just weird. Like, I mean, you lose 2 fights and you're out. Like, I mean, shit starts going real bad for you.
Yeah, which is I'm so impressed with Conor McGregor because he's weirdly, for no reason whatsoever, has momentum. Like, hasn't done anything, and he's still a big name.
Son, something random. When Chris wanted to hang out the other day, with me and Ree, we stopped by J-Mart and we were looking for some alcohol Chris wanted to get. All of a sudden, there's a bottle of Proper 12 in J-Mart. Like, which is weird.
Yeah, I came over and that's what y'all were drinking.
Oh, fuck, you did come over. Nice.
Yeah, that was the day before I left.
Yeah, I forgot you dropped by.
Y'all tried to swindle me into going to the bar.
Yeah, I seen Paige at Olive Garden after that, and she told me that y'all talked about going to the bar. You going to the bar that night?
Yeah, that didn't work out. It didn't.
Not at all.
Didn't work out for me. Yeah. So.
You think we? I don't know. The thing is that now we're doing it over the phone right now. I don't really know. I know we've been on the phone for 1 hour and 21 minutes, but I don't know how long we've been on the phone.
Yeah, I was thinking recording. Too. I mean, honestly, I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm covered my topics, everything I kind of wanted to touch on, reach out and pick your brain about. Again, just like to reiterate, shout out to anyone and everyone who's given us a listen. Man, it means a lot.
Shout out to everybody.
Everybody, and it means a whole lot. The shares on Facebook mean a lot. Y'all get our Twitter popping, because our Twitter is not popping.
Yeah,
like I think we have 1 follower on Twitter, and it's Nick.
Twitter's hard to get Twitter's hard to get popping in general. I mean,
Twitter is hard to get popping. But
I think my Instagram's got like 1,100 likes. My Facebook has whatever. But I mean, like, my Twitter's like 200 followers, or maybe even less. It's hard, man. Twitter's a weird place. I don't tweet a lot either, though, but it's weird.
So anybody who's liking our Facebook, checking out our YouTube, the SoundCloud, and also we're gonna have that on Spotify. When I get back from business out here, I'm gonna check into the Spotify and podcasting. So we're gonna be there. We're gonna get the video, actual video footage up. So we got a lot of things we're gonna tackle in the next 3 weeks.
We a lot of problem with the video was we're shooting in 4K, and an hour or something worth of footage in 4K getting uploaded to a laptop, without an external drive to it. It's just a lot for the computer to handle, and it's also just a lot of space, and I kept having to delete things. It was just a confusing little situation there. So we're gonna start recording 1080p. Try some of that stuff out first, see how it works, and I mean, I think we're gonna do, just to give them a little schedule of kind of like what we have planned right now. We're going to do a third, while Devin's still working, we'll do a third episode like this one with probably no picture, no visuals, but we'll still be doing what we're doing here, like, on the phone and taking care of it like this. But then when he comes back from work, the 4th episode will be...
From business. Back from business.
From business. Back from business. We're going to figure those visuals out. So I think by episode 4, we'll have visuals. And then right after that, I think it's really important for maybe episode 5 be the first one that we grab another person on, get a person there with us.
Yeah, visuals and just kind of perfecting the audio and everything. We're gonna have that tackled very soon, hopefully. And like he said, start integrating other people and aspects that we've had planned for the podcast. Have people on the show, take the show to people. We kind of want to do a what do you call that when you're like videoing what you're doing, but it's like
vlog.
Yeah, a vlog. We're kind of wanting to. We had talked about it. We're gonna have to talk about how we integrate it, but we're kind of wanting to get a vlog just for something you guys to kind of check out, and for the ones who don't live where we're from, you can check out our hometown and the little city we're in. And for the ones that are, we might go to spots that we think are popping that y'all don't know about. So we're going to try to just integrate a whole lot of stuff, so bear with us. Give us time. That's pretty much all I got. Thanks to everyone again, man. Y'all are super dope.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than what we expected, so hopefully it just keeps growing.
There's a whole episode of Family Feud with Juju Smith-Schuster versus Ninja.
That's something I have to check out as soon as we get done here.
No, dude, yeah. I got to watch I watched a few clips. I was at work the other day and I looked on the TV and seen Ninja's blue hair on Family Feud. I was like, how random. And then I saw Juju, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, what an episode. So I
Speaking of Ninja, sorry for cutting you off. Speaking of Ninja, first esports athlete to sign with Adidas. He signed a deal with Adidas.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that happened today or maybe yesterday. But yep, first esports athlete to sign with Adidas. So that's
World's
good.
changing, man. World's changing.
Man, Ninja's bag is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, he's the first. He's like the first that's doing.
Yeah. He's the guy, dude. He's got so much stupid bread from just playing games.
A trailblazer.
His girlfriend, if he still has the same one last time I seen, bad as hell. Like, dudes. I mean, congrats. Like,
you can't get mad at him, that's for sure. But you wanna run through. I think I'm almost sure we're over an hour now. Probably getting really up there. You want to go?
Probably getting pretty boring to everybody by now.
If you made it this far, fucking kudos. Because
thanks.
It's wild. But go ahead and do you still have the 5 questions? And I'm gonna come up with some.
Yeah. Well, the thing I was gonna do, I guess since you got to come up with some, I was gonna put you on the spot and make you go first. But,
okay. I mean that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, go ahead. You go first. I went first last week, even though I'm completely 100% prepared and you're not at all.
Yeah, well,
just like last week.
Life happens, and things go down. Number 1 question: I want to know your prediction on the. I want to know who, in your opinion, on this season, who's going to be in the Super Bowl and who's going to win.
Oh man. Well. Honestly, not just being a fan, but honestly, I think the Saints are going to make it.
Yeah.
I think the Saints are going to make it. There's a lot of... I mean, first thing, football's so unpredictable.
You don't ever know what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's so many, like... I mean, like, I can't remember where we were reading it. We were talking about it the other day, how the Saints, they'll be really good, and then they could be absolute shit this year. But I think that offense is just super high-powered offense, that it's almost, I don't want to say foolproof, but, I mean, pretty much, they're pretty good.
Damn near, man, as long as nothing terrible happens. Like... knock on fucking wood, as long as nothing happens to Drew Brees or anybody else that matters, and we have a good, clean, injury-free year, then, yeah, it's going to be tough.
So I'm going to go with the Saints from the NFC. And I can't bet against the Patriots, even though I want to say Kansas City. The Patriots are just... They're Tom Brady, basically. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, they're immortal.
That is the Super Bowl I wanted last year. Legendary Drew Brees, legendary Tom Brady. Fucking go out there and just do it. What a game that would be.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it would also be a huge, like, let's talk about GOAT conversation, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Tom Brady... I would say is obviously rings and just everything, but I mean Drew's one of those dudes, and you put.
Well, I mean he's got the numbers. Drew's got the numbers. He's got all the numbers.
So it's kind of like the LeBron, Michael Jordan ordeal,
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but yeah, I'm gonna go Saints in New England, and as much as it pains me if that ends up being it, I just don't see if New England gets there, I don't see him losing.
Okay.
Revamped offense. I don't see him losing.
You said revamped. I'm thinking about Reeves River Rats being pretty pissed off that you predicted that right there.
Well, I mean, I was going to say hide the podcast from him. That's number 1 fan, Studio Tech.
Yeah.
Sorry, Reeves River Rats. But Saints aren't, they aren't coached by and played every position by God, okay?
We talked about like Drew Brees retiring this year or something like that. If he retired, I think Drew Brees is going to become like an assistant coach to Sean Payton until Sean Payton retires, and I feel like Drew will maybe one day be head coach with the Saints. It'd be so sick to not lose him fully.
Y'all just love talking about fairy tales, huh?
Man, I just like it. It sounds so damn good. I mean,
doesn't
Brees,
it? I mean, I say fairy tales, man. Tim Duncan played his whole career with the Spurs under Greg Popovich, and now he's an assistant coach for Greg Popovich. So
yeah, so let's not talk fairy tales. Let me. I think a lot of mine today are gonna be sports related. It's easiest for me to come up with. So I'm gonna say, who do you think's next in line to face Conor McGregor, or do you think he'll fight again? And if he does, who's next in line for him?
Khabib, no question, because I don't think he fights again unless it's Khabib.
Okay, what if Dustin Poirier knocks out Khabib?
I think
They're
Conor's.
fighting.
I think Conor's got the bad blood. Yeah, no, they are. I think Conor wants Khabib. I mean, he did mention he wants the title back. I understand that, but I think he wants Khabib more than he does the title. I could be wrong. I don't know the guy.
Yeah.
But just how everything transpired, I say Conor and Khabib.
I'm leaning towards if he returns, I'm thinking if Nate Diaz somehow beats Jorge, that Nate Diaz's star power is going to be so big again that I feel Conor comes back for the trilogy fight with Nate Diaz.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Conor Max Holloway.
That's actually happened before, but it's way back in the day.
Right, yeah. I'm talking about like now, like Max is the guy. It'd be nice to see that.
Poirier is a super interesting guy. He's from Louisiana as well, if I'm not mistaken, and super interesting to see. I mean, I hope he knocks Khabib out. I really do. I don't like Khabib, but I love Conor, so that's why. But okay, third question. Again with the thoughts of sports and whatnot. So, do you see? We lost an exhibition. What do you see happening to the United States basketball team going into this thing? Do you see it being the first year we fuck up, or do you see us pulling it out?
Serbia, I'm not sure who from their team. It probably wasn't a player, probably one of the staff members. And I'm not sure the exact quote. Something along the lines of, God help the USA team if they play us. So, no lack of confidence across the globe. Serbia's good. Australia's good. Clearly showed that they can beat us. Granted, it was a 30-point effort from Patty Mills. Don't see that happening a lot. Spain, they're good. Giannis is playing for Greece, so
oh wow,
one of the top players in the entire world, and his brothers too. I'm not sure if both of his brothers or just one. He might have 3. I'm not sure how many are playing, but anyway. So there's a lot of good teams. I still think we're the best team in the world, but if the games are close, man, I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and say yeah. You know, we're still gonna get it, pull it out, but I'm not confident.
Yeah. Okay. News broke today or yesterday, one of the two. People were very, questionable on what Gronk was going to do, whether he was going to come back. He had a big announcement. We didn't know if he was going to come back, come out of retirement, whatever it may have been. Well, the announcement was that he joined forces with like a CBD company. Oh, yeah. And hey, you tell that guy I'm trying to ask my fourth question.
No, go ahead.
So he ends up saying that he's had a lot of help with pain through CBD. So I know you are not one for marijuana. I know you're not one for that shit, stuff like that. What is your thoughts on the CBD thing? Because the CBD is getting huge in America. I mean, literally everybody's supporting it. Like, is that some shit? I know we've actually together tested some CBD worms before, the gummy worms.
When I passed out.
Oh yeah, that shit put it.
Yeah,
well, so that's because we started fucking popping them like damn. We were doing drugs.
So story time. So Nick had went to. Where'd you go to get those?
I think it was like Cloud9.
Cloud9, right. Like so Nick went to Cloud9 and got some CBD gummies. It was like 20, something like that. And anyway, they're like just gummy worms. Taste like gummy worms, look like gummy worms. Like, you can't tell the difference. So he brings them to me, we start talking about it. I know what they are. And so I take one, he takes one. Really doesn't do anything for us. So we think, whatever, this ain't nothing. So we end up going to the bar. We're drinking that night. Anyway, so like he said, man, we're just taking them. Well, I've probably got 6-7 of these CBD gummies. And for anyone listening, it's not a drug. Like, it's not anything illegal. It's nothing bad. And so I'm not doing anything. Nick's talking to this girl, and they're playing beer pong. And I'm sitting on a little bench just watching. Next thing I know, I'm being woken up in the middle of a club full of loud music, dancing people, everything. Somebody's waking me up. So I passed out in the club, And I'm drunk. I've been drinking, so I go out to my car, and I get in the driver's seat. We're parked literally right in front of the bar, like cops everywhere or whatever. I get in my car. I don't crank it or anything. Throw it out the door. Some nice people gave me some water. Anyway, I wake up again, and Nick's getting in the car, and he's like, hey, man, let me drive, whatever. He's going to take us home. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I get out, and I go over to the passenger seat, and I just immediately pass out again. I roll down the windows, and Nick's like, I'm a little bit drunk. Let's take a little nap, and then we'll go. I wake up at 7 a.m. because the window's down, and the sun is, like, making me hot, and I look over, and we slept right in front of the bar in my car all night. Those CBD worms knocked us out.
Clean the fuck out.
So, like, we've never done anything like that ever. Slept in my car, windows rolled down, doors unlocked, keys, money, everything in the car, out cold until 7 in the morning. I looked over and I was like, bro, we gotta go. Like, we gotta get ourselves together and go.
The next day, I started getting fucking hit up from people saying, "Yo, bro, where'd you got the hook up on the worms?" I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, everybody was like, "Man, it really messed y'all up." Like, no, it made us go to sleep. Like, but back to your question.
Yeah.
I actually, and I was gonna bring this up earlier. So to anybody who listens all the way to the end, shocker, surprise, I'm expecting my first child. So.
Ooh, congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Around Halloween, we're going to have like a little gender reveal. Anybody who's listening wants to come, dude, it'd be super dope. Find out what it is. Pray it's a boy. Anyway, I was talking to her about that. She's having just basic pregnancy issues. Not issues, but, nausea, whatever. And I had been reading the other day about CBD helping with that, and that it doesn't harm the kid, and I actually mentioned that. So, yeah, I'm not really for smoking weed, whatever, mainly because it's illegal, and I understand people, it's not a drug. If I get pulled over in Louisiana with enough, I'm going to jail. It's a drug to me. So,
yeah, real shit.
So that's the way I look at that. So I'm not really a fan of it, but the CBD, man, there's so many health positives. I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast. Said that some family or something he had heard about, they had like a kid had seizures, like bad seizures, like every day, maybe 6, 7, 8 years old, something like that. And I'm not sure if he ingested it or did the oil or what, but started taking CBD, never had a seizure again.
Yeah, dude, it's wild.
So it's like
Gronk was sitting there saying it helped him with all the pain, that he was having.
Dude, there's so many, like, you read articles about it, and it's like a mystery super drug. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it fixes all kind of stuff.
They get hooked on these fucking painkillers, like a lot of athletes and stuff. And now there's like this CBD that's not. It's just a natural way to relieve pain, things like that. I mean, it's like you said, a miracle drug type thing. I mean, it's super. Yeah, I mean, dope.
Like, and we, like you said, we've taken it, not addictive. Me taking it that one day so many times was more or less because I was eating gummy worms that were good. And like.
Yeah, I want to try. The next thing I'm trying is this. I want to start dropping a drop under my tongue.
Yeah, I was seeing about that, and I wouldn't mind doing I don't know what you'd call it, but you rub it on your skin. Like, I was wanting to see, whatever it is. Like, when I go play basketball and stuff, since I barely get to play now, I'm super sore and stuff. And I was wondering, like, just to see, would that make any difference? Just to kind of feel, But yeah, no, I'm all for that, and I think it's dope that they're getting big name people like that promoting it. I think it's actually something that's gonna become super helpful.
And a ton of celebrities are like co-signing different brands and companies right now. It's a super dope time. Like I said, I want to try that. I think some of my family members are trying it, and they've not like immediate family, but family members, kind of like cousins and stuff, that have told my parents about it. Now my dad's even been talking about it. So it's cool that it's getting that big and that widespread. Okay, so last question, just random. Just gonna throw something out there.
I think this is question 4, but
no, this is question 5. I did the basketball, the UFC, the
oh yeah,
Super
you did.
Bowl,
I'm sorry. Hey,
yeah.
Don't worry about me, dude.
Hey man, don't stop. You don't know. But so 5th question, I'm just gonna throw one out, man. First off, have you? And second off, if you have, what's your opinion on the best chicken sandwich?
Oh man, I haven't had it.
Me either. I'm fucking devastated because I ate Popeyes today, From my dad, and I didn't get it because I figured they wouldn't have it anyway.
Dude, no, I haven't had it. I'm pretty mad at myself for not having it, but no, I haven't tasted it yet. So like, it's one of the things that like I want to do when I get back. But like, we could take a day out and go get a chicken sandwich.
Yeah. They're only $4.
Damn, they're proud of them things, huh?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, fuck. Usually, like a Sonic chicken sandwich is like $5. I mean, they're not.
Yeah, well, that's because Sonic is expensive as hell. Like Sonic's. I mean, yeah, but they're probably like. I mean, they have really badass burgers and everything, but they're probably one of the most high-priced fast food joints.
Since you can't answer the question because of the Popeyes thing, what is the right now until you try the Popeyes chicken sandwich? What is the reigning chicken sandwich to you?
I'm gonna have to go with McDonald's breakfast chicken sandwich. Add some cheese. Oh, that chicken sandwich is fire. I don't always eat the bread because it fills me up. A lot of bread. Yeah. But man, that piece of chicken with some melted cheese on it. Ooh-wee. That's some good shit.
All right, man. I'm ready for my 5. Let's go ahead and get it out because this is probably going to be 2 hours.
So, question 1. If you could close, just speaking on the food thing, if you could close one restaurant, place of eating, fast food restaurant, anything, because you think it's absolutely disgusting, what would it be? And what makes it disgusting to you?
Okay. Fast food. So that's a little.
It doesn't have to just be fast food. It could be restaurant in general. I have one on my mind.
If it was restaurants in general, just off the top of my head, just food that I don't like, it would be any sushi place. I hate sushi.
I was gonna mention, if you didn't remember it, and you didn't, I guess. We'll have to shut down China Garden, that place that fucked us up that day. And we were sick for like 3 days.
Yeah, fucking that shit floored us that night. I got food poisoning from that place. Yeah, I probably will never eat there again. Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, just wanted to fucking shut down the whole chain. I keep moving away from the mic. I need to talk right into this bitch. But just to shut down the chain. Yeah, it could be maybe a China Garden. Could be some sushi place. I'm
a fan of sushi too, so that really hurts. Not a fan of China Garden. Like you said, it floored my ass.
Tavern.
We shut down Mohawk Tavern.
I didn't like that place when I went, but
drop your prices for God's sakes, and
they
please,
really are proud of some motherfucking things.
If I get a $10 drink, please don't bring it in a shot glass. Like, please.
Yeah. It'd probably be something like that just off the top of my head. I really don't just fucking despise any restaurant chain because 9 times out of 10 I can find something I like, but as for like a sushi place, I mean, it's fucking difficult for me to find something I care for. So maybe something like that.
Okay, this one's kind of in depth. What's your favorite sound?
Sound in general?
Like your favorite sound, like something you just hear.
Oh man, well it'd have to be the exact point that a woman reaches the big O for my big D. Right?
Not where I thought you were going with that, but not a bad sound.
No, it's welcoming. I would say extremely welcoming.
Relieving.
It's
really nice to hear a real one.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Because those are rare.
Beautiful. For damn sure. In all seriousness, I'm not one of those people that I can't go to sleep listening to the sounds of the ocean. I can't go to sleep doing that kind of stuff.
Oh, me either. I need it silent.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, I want there to be sound, but
you like sleeping with TV. That's so weird to me.
Yeah, dude, I love that. I can't sleep without the TV on. I have to have something playing in the background, dude, because I hear other shit.
I need it as dark as possible and as quiet as possible.
Because if I hear something outside, I'll be like, damn, I wonder what that is. Like, why are they out there doing that right now? I don't have...
You were sleeping with your TV the other night when I came over with my boombox on my shoulder trying to play Baby Come Back. You never woke up. And I seen the light flicker and I said, that damn TV.
Yeah, it's the TV on.
Ree walked outside. I wish I would have
known before you left.
Yeah, no, Ree walked outside. So I looked and just put the boombox down and walked away.
Oh wow, he'll do that to you.
Wasn't what I was looking for.
He's almost like a repellent to some things like that.
Well, he's an attractant. If you created a word, swimmish, so he's an attractant.
Yeah, an attractant.
But so no favorite sound.
Like if you really want to just okay, let me do it. My favorite sound that I can really when I hear it, I feel excited or I feel
Adamite
good.
Throne that you can check out
No,
on Spotify and basic streaming platforms.
I was actually going to say, though, the moment that a pitch in a song that I'm recording, when Nick V hits the exact sound that my mind was thinking whenever I wrote the song, when that moment hits and I feel proud and I feel like we've accomplished what I've really thought of for this however long I was writing the song, that is a very rewarding sound to hear. That one moment where it's like, that's what I'm looking for. We've been changing effects and looking this way and that way. That's the moment that we've been looking for. That's a very rewarding sound to hear. So that's what I want to roll with for now.
That's a good one. So so what is the biggest personal change you've ever made in your life? Like something you used to do that now you've stopped yourself from doing, and it's made you into something that you liked more. Maybe not better, but something that you liked more.
Absolutely letting go.
Yeah. Let's not. We ain't gotta bring it up like that. But I understand.
Just
that is a good feeling too, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, especially recently, letting go of an old situation, old relationship. Finally, an 8-year situation, finally let go, and actually having the feeling.
I think you've been saying 8-year situation for 3 years.
Maybe real shit. Honestly, I probably have. But yeah, just definitely the feeling of actually having it off my shoulders and being able to think freely again without having to put a perspective of that storyline or whatever I thought that was going to be in my head. I can just think freely and be me and make decisions based off myself finally. That's probably the most refreshing and best feeling I've had, and biggest change, especially like I said, the past decade's been pretty wrapped up in that scenario. So I guess biggest change recently definitely would be that, I'd say. Yay me.
Yeah, congrats. Yeah, you. Definitely a big milestone for you.
Yeah.
So, question 4. If you could commit one crime and get away with it, what would it be and why?
Damn, one crime, get away with it, and why? I don't want to use anything that rhymes with the grape. No, just kidding.
I think you've gotten away with that.
this ain't. Woo!
Cut that.
No, let me think. Crime I want to get away with.
Joking, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Completely joking.
Don't make some R. Kelly shit get put on me. My rap career's gonna start taking off, and all of a sudden they're gonna R. Kelly me and ruin everything.
Have 35 people coming out. Wait a minute.
Wait a damn minute. Wait a minute, Nick. We were drunk. No, fuck that. So that's hard, man. Damn, that's a good question because it kind of throws me off. I guess, I guess immediately, just the first thing I can think of, obviously, would be to somehow. I mean, I don't like this answer because it's kind of obvious. Just maybe fucking rob some place that has fucking everything I need, like I got enough money to put my family up and not get caught, and just enough cash to put me up, my family up, my friends up, and just fucking be. And get away with it, be successful, and have a decent life for the rest of the time. Because other crimes, I don't want to kill nobody. I don't want to fucking hurt nobody. I don't want to, fucking do anything else. I mean, so stealing a bunch of money that would set us up for the rest of our lives would be nice.
What crimes are there besides,
Dude,
stealing?
I literally had a hard time thinking just then about that.
Like, now that I'm thinking, unless you sexually abuse someone, hurt someone, or steal something in some form or fashion, what other crimes are there? I mean, drugs.
Speeding and having possession, fuck all that shit. I mean, so yeah, out of the options I was given, I don't hate no one, so I'm not trying to really kill nobody, and I don't want to rape nobody, so I'm kind of I'd love to steal a lot of money and set my whole family and friends up and myself up for the rest of my life. That's the best thing I guess
that's a really broad question that doesn't have many possible answers.
Yeah, because crimes are crimes for a reason, and not many people want to do them.
Yeah.
Unless you just want to kill somebody. If you just hate somebody so bad, you're fuck off.
Yeah, well, I don't know anybody like that.
Me either.
So question 5, final question before we close out the podcast. What country or place would you never want to visit?
Ever in my life, never want to visit it. Fucking Iraq, bro. It sounds terrible out there.
Yeah, well, that's true. It does sound rough.
That sounds like a tough spot. I mean, I'd have to say some shit like that. I like the thought of a lot of different places. I want to go to fucking Jamaica and shit and see rainforest or wherever the fuck rainforests are. I want to fucking go to Italy.
Speaking of rainforest, the Amazon forest is apparently burning the fuck down.
Nice.
So yeah, that's
the world's a nice place to be.
Yeah, it's burning down, wildfires, and I think a bunch of people offered like $20 million, and Brazil turned it down. I think it was Brazil. Anyway, one country turned it down, and said give it to some people over in Europe, if I'm not mistaken, for something going on there. So very nice of them, but at the same time, the Amazon rainforest is burning down, bro. Like, fix it.
But Amazon.com's flourishing.
Amazon.com is flourishing. If you don't have Amazon Prime yet, get it. It comes with Amazon Video and Amazon Music, where you can find Adamite Music's Throne record. So, I hate to take your shine, but yeah, Amazon Music has Adamite on there. So y'all check that out. Stream it. Just let it play on repeat while you asleep. So he wakes up with buku. Yeah. So he wakes up with buku streams, feels good about himself. He's been down cutting recently. That's not a joke. That's not a joke. Sorry.
You said it's not a joke. You just said it's not a joke.
No, it's a joke. He's doing it, but it's not something to joke about. I apologize. But so yeah, he's been real down. Stream, make him feel a little better. So you could definitely find that there.
I can swimish and I'm in a puddle of my own blood right now. Again, not a joke. I mean, a joke, but not funny. So that's it, huh? I mean, I guess we fucking. We did the never ending podcast today. We did fucking like 3 hours. It feels like
we did do it.
We've been on the phone for like 8 minutes shy of 2 hours. So you know that at least 1 hour and 30 minutes of this is us. So yeah, we need to wrap it up. Something I don't do, ladies.
Yeah, me too. Clearly. So which. Again, shout out to my child. He'll hear this podcast, and he or she will hear this podcast. And that's what I'm going to play to them whenever they're sleeping, rock them to sleep, the Dirty Pelican podcast.
Paige told me at Olive Garden that you listen to the podcast while you're taking a shower.
That's a lie.
Oh, wow, random. Not trying to stir the pot, just saying.
No, that didn't happen.
She literally said, he listens to the he listens to the podcast while he's in the shower. I think she was just being like, hey, he talks about it a lot.
I do talk about it a lot. Didn't listen to it in the shower. Did listen to it twice just to kind of feel things out. Not in the shower, though. Now, in the shower. I don't want to know what happens in there. Well, I do like watching old videos of me and you in the shower.
Well, those can be found on our, what is it? What are those things called? The Snapchat? Our privates?
Yeah, our privates, yeah.
No, the thing on the Snapchat. Do you have a paid or do you have a?
You're talking about our premium? Yeah, our premium.
Yeah. All can be seen on our Dirty Pelican podcast premium page on Snap.
Our premium Snap. If anyone's interested in that, probably not. But if you are, that might be the dopest.
Yeah, bro. I mean, if it ain't gay for pay.
Well, with that, we're gonna come to our closing remarks. I'd again like to shout out, Dion for reaching out, Chase for the information and just, showing that he's listening, and everyone else who's reaching out and supporting us. We appreciate it, guys.
Big shout out to everyone who's checked it out, all the ladies and men who have hit me up.
Bro, a big shout out to Hayden. Hayden is putting us on. So shout out to you, Hayden, for sure.
Real shit. Yeah, real shit. He's the homie. Maybe one day he'll want to hang out with us and not have to use us afterwards.
Yeah, whenever he hung out with us that one time, he used us and then ditched us for 2 girls.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at him because I do the same. But
at the same time, being on the receiving end sucks.
What business will Ree's River Rats have next? Find out next time on the Dirty Pelican podcast. And we're out.
We're out.